Hi, I'm Kimberly Eckert, and I'm having a seat at the table with Wiley Brazier.
Come have a seat at the table. You've got a seat at the table. Let's have a seat at the table with Wiley Brazier.
All right, everyone, welcome to A Seat at the Table. I am your host, Wiley Brazier V. I have the distinct pleasure of having on my show today the Louisiana Teacher of the Year for 2018, Miss Kimberly Eckert. How are you, Kim?
I'm great. I feel like I should do the wave.
Come on, I'll wave with you.
Right, woo! My closet. Yeah, okay.
All right. So welcome to the table, Kim. Let me tell everyone a little bit about Kim. Kimberly Eckert is the 2018 Louisiana Teacher of the Year and is certified in English, special education, and as a reading specialist. She is committed to empowering students to become stronger self-advocates and agents of their own learning by connecting them to their own personal passions. Kimberly has served as a mentor and master teacher through the Teacher and Student Advancement Program, which is the TAP, and as an instructional coach. As an instructional coach before returning to the classroom to better understand the needs of her students. She has been recognized previously as a West Baton Rouge Parish Middle School Teacher of the Year and a LaQ Regional Middle School Teacher of the Year, West Baton Rouge High School Teacher of the Year, and LaQ Regional High School Teacher of the Year. She was also selected as a Kagan Scholarship winner and served as a Discovery Educator Network star. Kimberly presently serves on the Teacher Effectiveness Committee on the Board of Elementary and Secondary Education, is a Louisiana teacher leader, and is a Louisiana Educator Advocacy Development Fellow through Stanford Children. As Louisiana Teacher of the Year, Kimberly is working hard to elevate the profession and address educational equity throughout the state by engaging in efforts to recruit and maintain incredible teachers throughout the state like herself. Kimberly obtained a Bachelor of Social Work and a Master's of Education in Special Education from Northwestern State University. Congratulations on everything that you have accomplished so far, Kim. Again, welcome to the show.
I feel like that's all the time we have today. Two more times. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
And Kim, you're such a great person. All of this couldn't have happened to a better person. I mean, you've been Louisiana Teacher of the Year this year and all of these different awards. And, going through that whole process must have been an adventure, to say the least, I'm sure. So can you kind of let everyone know, what was the Teacher of the Year process like for you?
Well, I think that anybody who's been through the process will tell you it's pretty intense, but it's also a really powerful tool for like self-reflection. So along the path, because at no point I think does any teacher really feel like they're doing a great job. And I know, and I tell people this, there are days where I'm not the best teacher, like in my classroom or on the hall. And I think that being able to go through a process where you're forced to look at your teaching practice and really reflect on that and become more conscious of where you're competent, it makes the road really, really powerful. So no matter what would have happened at the end, I felt stronger and I felt more able to kind of talk about my own practice because of it.
That is cool. That is cool. Now you've been Teacher of the Year for a number of different uh, agencies or schools and things of that nature. How was this one different from the others? I mean, what did it feel like, when they announced that you were not just for West Baton Rouge, but you were the Louisiana Teacher of the Year for 2018?
Well, funny you should mention that. There's like video footage to back up what I'm about to say. So in my head, I was just shocked at every turn. I was shocked if I was a semifinalist. I was shocked if I was a finalist. And then I had like my own bracket pick. Like I had my favorite picks from the top 9, and I was not a part of the top of any of that. So there's like the 3 divisions. There's elementary. There's middle school. There's high school. I had all those picked, and I had the state winner pick. And I was actually really nervous. I get nervous because I'm just super awkward as a human. And I remember I was really nervous because I knew that I would have to be recognized that night as a finalist. And so after they called the finalists on stage, I was like, phew, like the worst is over. Like I got this. So I like went back to my table. I was like clowning around because I just knew it was time to sit back and watch and like cheer on the people who I picked. So whenever they got through the 3 division winners, one of the people that two of the people that I had picked were not their division winners. And I was like, oh man, they're gonna be going head to head for like state. And so I kind of like took a step back and I'm like, oh man, like one of them, isn't gonna win. And so whenever they, that's all I was thinking about, like which one between the 2. And so whenever they called my name,
Kimberly Eckert.
it was complete disbelief because I hadn't even pegged myself as a division or anything. And it took me almost 2 minutes to stand up. And I was just like, no, it's not me. And then you could see in the video, like my husband leans over and tells me something. And then our associate superintendent finally like made me get up. Like she said something in my ear that made me stand and move and walk. And it was just the strangest thing. And I still look back on it in slow motion, just whenever you're that blown over and it's something that unexpected. So it was pretty crazy. And like, I'll never forget that night. It was insane.
Phenomenal. That sounds like it was really amazing.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Amazing. So since then, I know you have been championing a few different causes. So, we'll talk about that in just a moment.
Mm-hmm.
But what have been some of the perks of being the 2018 Louisiana Teacher of the Year?
Oh my gosh, the perks are really good. So I can't go on without saying, like, I'm so excited that the work I get to do is really meaningful, but the perks are so amazing. So this organization called Dream Teachers, they basically fundraise the entire year to make this really special event for all the teachers. And it's open to any teacher to be able to go with a ticket. And so they do such a good job because the whole purpose, it's not just to reward the winner, it's to elevate the profession. And so that night, I mean, there was a Mercedes-Benz that was just like for me for the year. So you do get a Mercedes-Benz for the year. And there's amazing sponsorships and packages that come, and it varies each year. So there was some cash there. Like I got jewelry, like it was like amazing. Like it was the coolest thing ever. Yeah. Like the swag that you get for this is absolutely amazing. It really was for the semifinalists and finalists as well. And then aside from that, there's so many organizations that reach out. There's the presentation at LSU football where you walk out, in the middle and you have that moment where all of Tiger Stadium's cheering on teachers and cheering on the profession, which is amazing. There's also coming up LSU baseball. There's amazing trips that are meant to kind of train you and help you really serve the country as a state winner. And so some of those trips, we got to like tour Google facilities, and it was an amazing experience to meet the other state representatives. Coming up also is a Washington week where we're going to be able to meet with our congressman and also President Trump, which is absolutely amazing and just such a surreal experience to have that opportunity at the White House. There's space camp. There's just like I never in a million years would have thought that this would happen to me, but I'm so happy and so proud that it happens for teachers.
That is phenomenal. So it sounds like your schedule just shot through the roof when all of this happened.
Yeah, it did. And there's like nothing prepares you for that. Like, as a teacher, it's pretty intense, but most intense was, I have 125 essays, and so I'm still in the classroom. So now I have to have 125 essays, and then there's this event, and then I go back and I teach, and then there's something tonight, and then I wake up the next day and teach. So it's really cool, and it's going by so very, very fast, and it's probably because like the schedule's really packed.
Most definitely. Now, you just mentioned some of the different tours that you took and some of the work that you're doing. Can you tell me about some of the work that you're doing in advocating for teachers here in Louisiana and the profession? And and then I do want to speak about one particular trip that I heard you speak about previously. But tell us about some of the experiences so far as Louisiana Teacher of the Year and some of the work that you're doing?
Well, I think the very, very cool part about Louisiana and the way that it utilizes really the talent of the state teacher of the year, which throughout the country it varies, it really, really does. But our state is very good at connecting your strengths and your passions to whatever it is you do and pretty much giving you the resources and the platform to pursue that. And so, like last year, Joni Smith, super passionate about the science standards in addition to so many other initiatives. And she was able to really take flight with that. And Kelly Stumps, she was the representative the year before, very impassioned with music education. And so for me, student voice and student choice is something, it just really marks my entire career. And then the other half of that is really teacher voice and really shaping teachers. I've always, pretty much from my third year, I was able to kind of reach out and help teachers. And I think that stems a lot from my background. The whole idea of advocacy and making teachers stronger because it makes students stronger, like putting students at the center and what can we do to support teachers. So because of that, I've been involved with the teacher recruitment campaign, which is amazing. And it's something that Louisiana had already been planning for this year and that I was able to plug in and lend my voice and my passion to that. It's great. With that, I'm trying to get a program called Educators Rising in for the state because that also speaks to our recruitment needs. It's really difficult to staff sometimes schools that are in rural areas or schools that have populations that are kind of dealing with lower socioeconomic issues. And so I know that like homegrown teachers is really important. And so that's an initiative that's going to, I'll dedicate the rest of my life to helping that, where schools can kind of grow their own talent and teachers go back and teach at those schools. And then aside from that, and part of that is diversifying the profession. We know a large percentage of students in public education are students of color, and we know that that's not really reflected in our force. And so being able to reach out to minority students younger and encourage them and make them see that this is a really prestigious career and we really need you to be a part of that so that students can see more of themselves reflected in our workforce. So all those things kind of go together, and it's all about just kind of strengthening what we as an entire team nationwide can give to our students.
All right. So I just heard you speak and do a keynote recently at the Innovation Day, the Mini LaQ,
Yeah,
which is our
sorry for you.
No, you were phenomenal. It was definitely a pleasure to see and to hear. I mean, it was really refreshing. You did a great
Thank
job.
you.
So in that keynote, you mentioned a school visit that you had the opportunity to take part in as a part of being the Louisiana Teacher of the Year. So
Yeah.
can you tell, kind of recap that, tell a little bit about that for us real quick.
Yeah. So part of this trip to San Francisco, they split our team. So the 56 state teachers of the year, it's also territories in case you're doing the math and you're like, we don't have 56 states. So anyway, and there was a team of us that were selected to go visit Salman Khan of Khan Academy, his brick and mortar school. So they actually have a lab school where students attend. I think there's just under maybe 200 students there. And it was a really cool experience in the sense that there's no grades, either grade levels or grades given for coursework, and the focus is more on progression. And all the students interact, and there's really nothing holding them back from achieving higher and higher levels because of these other things. And I know that the team that I was with were all public school teachers in that particular group, public charter schools. And so it was very interesting because despite the fact that Khan Academy, the mission of it is to deliver like high quality free education worldwide, this particular school is not free. So it has a pretty hefty price tag for a million different reasons. I know that they're just kind of piloting it in other places, but they started it there. So these students pay, $30,000 a year plus to be able to attend this school. And the innovations that happened there, it was just kind of like, why is this not happening in more places? Like, what makes this a $30,000 price tag? And then spent a lot of time since that visit just kind of looking at what we do in classrooms, and we do a lot of that for free. So the ratio, like the maybe 1-to-4 ratio, we can't really mirror, but there's nothing stopping us. So in classrooms, in my own classroom, in classrooms around the Baton Rouge area and within the state, uh, big, like the Genius Hour, the idea of passion projects, that's huge at the Khan Academy. That's huge in my classroom every single week. The idea they have 30% of their instruction that's delivered through Chromebooks, and they actually realize that anything more than that is counterproductive. But obviously, we have those initiatives too. We have many schools that are one-to-one, and if not, like my school, we can check out things. So many innovative things that are geared towards students taking more ownership and more agency over their own learning that help them. So it was eye-opening, and then I went through a period of like, why aren't we doing that for free, to we are doing that for free. And I think that that really drives us. I want to deliver a $30,000 education to every single student that comes across me for free. And I feel that there's so many teachers across the state of Louisiana who have the exact same feeling. And I think that's just keep asking ourselves that they're getting that for $30,000. We're providing it for free. And I think that it makes me feel like a champion. I love it.
And you are a champion. I actually had the distinct pleasure of visiting your classroom for a Genius Hour and sharing with your kids and learning with your kids. It was absolutely phenomenal during that time.
Oh, they love them some you. I'm like, he has a job, guys. He can't come back. They love you.
Well, I will be back to visit them.
Oh, I'm not even going to tell them because I can't. Like, oh, just wait, it'll be a surprise.
So you were talking about your passion of helping to grow our Louisiana teachers, and most recently, I saw you help to announce the Be a Teacher. Um, Tell me what that is.
Wow. So this whole year, and I mean school year, with teachers, we have school years and calendar years. So this school year, the research started pretty early on where the State Department allowed me to be a part of this like massive kind of market research and survey process. And the market in this case is high school students, so high school juniors and seniors, and college freshmen and sophomores.
Okay.
Because it's understanding the mentality that once they're already in college, the cake's kind of already baked. So we need to start sooner with recruitment. And so in that particular survey, we found out so many things about this generation. And it's really cool. And I see it every day in my classroom, but it was with the sensitivity to their talents and their needs. They have a fear of being replaced. They have that really healthy respect for technology, but also see that technology can and often does reduce workforce or eliminate certain positions. And so this particular generation, they don't want to be replaced. They want to have an irreplaceable career. They want to have a greater impact. And we know that that's something that kind of spans the idealism of youth. But this generation takes it such a step further because they need value in a way that we see with the influx of social media, the way that they find value they're dissatisfied with. And so they really want to dig into a career that allows them connection and just sort of an irreplaceable experience and an opportunity to change. So it's like, wow, we could tap into that because that's essentially what the career of a teacher is. And so Be a Teacher LA, if it's beateacherla.com, or if you use the hashtag anytime we share our teacher stories, it's all meant to kind of reach that very, very special demographic through social media, through, it actually expands way past that. We have billboards throughout the state. We have some earned and donated media through different radio channels and news stations that are periodically running those commercials. So it's all with the idea, and it's kind of around this robot, You Learn 2000, where the kids kind of see it's, technology definitely works and it's super special, but nothing can replace a powerful teacher. And so all of the taglines and all of the the commercial shorts and the extended commercial really kind of celebrate that idea that it's in conjunction, but nothing replaces that irreplaceable teacher.
Great, great. I really like that. Um, so then you just described a whole lot, and uh, for a student who's looking into a career as a teacher, who's thinking about uh, becoming a teacher, what would be a compelling reason that you would give them to be a teacher, LA?
Well, there's always like two angles I like to talk about the profession in, and one, like unmistakable, the impact and the rapid change we see. Like if you want any stake in the future, teaching is the way to get it, because the turnaround is very fast. Within days, you see major change that some people can spend a lifetime trying to find and never do. So that idea to really, really have that hands-on change on and shape the future that we want to see, that's pretty powerful, and that's real. That's not just talk. That's something that we know to be true every single day. But then there's this whole other aspect, and it's a lot of what I've experienced over the last 10 years, that the ways that we continue to grow and cultivate talent, the command that we need of the changing world. I don't know how many other careers that exist in, and I know as someone who switched careers, I was not always a teacher. I had a totally different trajectory for my career. But teaching is what you want it to be. If you are interested in performing arts, oh my gosh, like teach English, because every day is a performance. If you're interested in STEM, if you're interested in business, if you're interested in technology, if you're interested in math, if you're interested in policy, honestly, if you're interested in leadership, what other field is this dynamic that gives you this many opportunities to develop and really kind of reinvent what you want? It's not only every single year in the classroom, there's all these different ongoing professional development opportunities. So it's like whatever you decide your career will be that day, that year, whatever your plan is, it's constantly changing, and it's very, very rich. And I feel like, the very best teachers that we have will say that it's fresh every day, and no 2 days are the same, and you are completely in control with the level of innovation you'd like your career to have. So it's not just that ability to reach lives and change lives. Your own life changes, and I think that's really amazing.
I really like that. I really like that's powerful. That's powerful. And there is a poem that the listeners need to check out from Taylor Mali, um, which talks about what does a teacher make. So I'll just
Oh,
leave that
yeah.
out there. So um, working, how many years have you been teaching now?
This is my 10th year.
10th year.
Yeah.
So then what advice would you give to new teachers and teachers within their first few years of teaching?
Well, what I always say, I mean, to first year teachers, like I'm the kind of person where like give it to me straight, so I know I'm not alone. The first year is hard, and a lot of that is the fact that the first year of teaching, you're immediately catapulted into a professional placement, like a highly professional, where the needs are so great, and you're being given complete authority and complete autonomy over anywhere from 20 lives to 125 or more than that. And so that's real. There's no way to learn those skills overnight. And so I try to tell teachers, like, understand it's not you, it's life. There's no other field that literally throws you in, and you have to hit the ground like in a future car, not even hit the ground running, like you have to hit the ground zooming. And that's the way it is. But every single person share that experience with you, and I think that the bond that creates, and the ability for you look to the teacher on your left, the teacher to your right, and they're looking at you with total love in their eyes because they know. So get through that year, because that's where there's no other way to learn the things that you need to learn. There's no school that can teach you that. There's no class you can take. And I think that's really cool in some ways. And every single teacher that I've worked with, I think that we're able to laugh through their first year, because humor, you have to have that, and you have to understand and be patient with yourself, that it's going to take time. And then teachers that have been in the field for a few years, just I can't underestimate the power you have to continue the path you're on if you love it, and to tweak things about it and always learn and change if there's parts of it that you don't love. That's the beauty of it. You can always add new things. You could always improve yourself. You could always change grades. You can change subjects. Like, there are no walls. The only walls are the ones that we build on our own. And I think that's really cool. It's such a fluid career. So just, change the parts, keep learning, keep growing, keep building, and have fun. If you're not having fun, like, fix a piece of it. And you will.
I really enjoy the information that you're giving. I love that advice.
It's probably nothing you didn't know.
Yes, but everyone gives their thoughts and recommendations and feedback, and it's just like we're all unique individuals. The advice that we give is very unique. Even if we're saying a similar message, the way that it's put is in a different manner. So I just love that. So we've talked about some of your passion. We've talked about the accomplishments. We've talked about some of the perks of being Louisiana Teacher of the Year and all of those things. So we've given recommendations and advice for brand new teachers in the first years of teaching. At this time, I want to try to shift a little bit to allow everyone to get to know you a little bit more personally as well, okay?
Okay.
So first question is, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
Well, let's see. I would really like to play the guitar. It's funny, like Genius Hour, I talk about that a lot. Like, Genius Hour is my Genius Hour. I'm always trying to learn new stuff, and I'm really bad at so many different things. And the one thing that I keep trying, because usually I try to learn something and then I'm like, I'll mess it up so bad I never touch it again. But guitar, I'm so bad at it. But I want so desperately to be like a rock star in my living room. So that would be really cool. Like, learn how to play the guitar beyond like Ode to Joy. That would be really cool.
All right, cool. You want to be a rock star? There you go.
Yeah, it's in my living room. It's pretty.
There you go. So then, if you could take a 1-month trip anywhere in the world and money were not an object, where would you go and what would you do?
Okay, so I've been thinking about this forever. I'm a long-term planner. So I have one that's more realistic and one that's like impossible because I'm very lazy. So
Let's hear them.
Put that disclaimer. I'm like such an adventurous spirit, and like I love the earth. Like, I just love this thing that we live on. Like, I love it. So I have this one that I'm like planning. I would love to like visit like all through Morocco, like on a camel, like Sahara Desert. Wow. And like tents and like nomadic life and like Marrakesh rugs and like, I don't know. So I just really want that experience. I'm into like really extreme kind of travel and trips where you just kind of take off the beaten path. So that's something I've actually been planning in a while. Right now, I just need like a sucker to be my travel companion so that I can be alone there. All right, put this down. And then I have another goal. If money wasn't an object and I had like the will to train, one day, Mount Everest. Like, I would love.
Oh, wow.
To climb Everest, but I also know like I have a healthy, very, very huge respect for the people that do, because that's not something you just go do. But that would be really, really amazing to kind of do this extreme triumph of like me and nature, and like you might die, which that's not like appealing. I don't want to die, but everybody has to die, and it seems pretty cool if you're like, yeah, Everest was me. Like, I don't know.
And your flag would be planted there.
Oh yeah, and because I can't remove your body either, because like it's just way too hard. Like, it's hard enough to just get up there, much less go down with a body. So that would be like, a forever resting place. That wouldn't be a bad way to go.
Pushing it to the limit.
Yeah, and freezing to death with very little oxygen. Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like you've actually led us right into the next question. You've accomplished a lot. I know, sounds like Everest is one of your future goals. um, and so you've accomplished a lot already. And what's next for Mrs. Eckert? What are some of your future goals?
Well, it's funny. Those trips are obviously, future goals. They're pretty far off, but I already at all times I'm already plotting goals. Like I'm already plotting Everest. I'm already plotting Morocco, and so future it's like all one. So right now, like I love the work we do, and I'm very serious about driving up the prestige of the profession that some more people want to do this work with me. I need more people to play with. Like I need more coworkers. Like I just want people like that are super passionate and really helping kids. So that is such a fun experience that I'm having right now, like reaching out of the walls of my classroom and really inspiring more people to work with me to become teachers. So with this project that I'm starting with kind of this interest with Educators Rising and getting it involved with my district and hopefully maybe piloting some of those aspects here so that we can spread this work throughout the state. That is amazing to me, and it's something that I know every state struggles, and this is my home, and I'm from a very rural area, so it's just that's what fires me. Everything I do I'm passionate about because all of my passions I'm always pursuing, and so that's the most immediate and ever-present goal, and it's just that's what makes work not feel like work whenever you're that committed and you feel that invested with like the passions of your life.
Definitely, definitely. So thank you for that. Okay, any last thoughts before we go?
No, this is super fun. Like if you told me a year ago somebody would like want to hear me rant or like go on and on a podcast, I wouldn't have believed that either. So just thank you so much. This is really fun.
Definitely. Like you, I'm all about trying to amplify teacher voice and educator voice and just expose everyone to more so that we can kind of learn. Every day is for learning. We have to all continue to grow. Um, and so before we go, can you I always try to have, get a quick little laugh in. We've had some fun during the show. And so this is a seat at the table. And what do you do at the table? We tell stories, right?
Yeah,
we tell jokes and we tell stories. And so before we go, can you either tell us a joke or give us a quick little story? It can be, from your experience as an educator or not, whatever you feel, whichever you feel most comfortable with.
It's so funny. So I'm Louisiana, like Bayou Cajun, so I know no clean jokes. Like it's just a part of my heritage. Like it just is. But I do have a funny story, and I think it kind of goes along with everything that I believe in and everything about this table.
Okay.
And like the things, the extremes that teachers will go through for their students. So before I was an English teacher, I was a special education teacher, and I still like that's how I live. It's the truth of my life. And so there's this one particular kid. And he had a lot of behavior issues in previous years. And so the idea that, like, I'm going to do whatever it takes. So, like, hang with this kid, reach this kid. So do you know that between the two of us, this particular kid, I found out that he was really into, like, Lord of the Rings and, like, Hobbit. And so am I. The incentive for him, we freaking learned to make Elvish runes, like the language of elves. So there was this one point where my classroom, under every desk was Elvish inscriptions. So whatever school might possibly have the desk from Port Island Middle from that year, you need to check under the desk because there's gum and there's probably like Elvish writing. It's just really, really funny. And the kid, he graduated last year and he still like talks about it. He has tattoos of like the Elvish runes. So I just that's funny to me because I'm like semi-fluent in like our made-up Elvish language. So I think it's pretty cool, and I think I'm kind of the boss.
That is cool. That just further illustrates the connection and the impact that teachers have on students. I mean, I just think that's phenomenal. That was a great story. Then how can people connect with you?
Well, this is like whenever I was younger, I never knew my own phone number because I never call myself. So I'm going to look up how to connect with me. So,
are you online, website?
I am online.
thing?
So on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram, it's all the same handle. Yeah,
Okay,
handle.
there you go.
It's so funny. Before State Teacher of the Year, I made a pact with a lot of my students to like get away from social media, and now I'm like all in it again. So it's crazy. All right, so the handle for all three of those is 2018 LA Toy. So 2018 Latoy, and that stays. It's a huge thing. Apparently, you are always your year Teacher of the Year. So I'm always 2018 Teacher of the Year. And so that handle's never going to change because all of the work will always fall under that title.
Cool.
Also, email, if we even do that outside of like work, but that would be kimberly.eckert@wbrschools.net. But certainly the easier and more hip and fun way would be through social media.
So Kim, I definitely appreciate your time today. Thank you for joining me and sharing your time, your talents, and your treasure with me and the world. To everyone tuning in, thank you for sharing your time. And like a home-cooked meal, I hope this show has nourished your body and mind. So until next time, with me, you will always have a seat at the table. Thank you again, Kim.
Thank you so much, Wiley. It was so much fun.